With the 15th pick in the 2011 NBA Draft, the Indiana Pacers select Kawhi Leonard from San Diego State University.
Kawhi Leonard, one of the best players in the NBA today. Arguably the best defender in the league, with 2 rings, 2 Finals MVPs, and 2 Defensive Players of the Year. He was drafted by the Indiana Pacers but was traded to the San Antonio Spurs for immediate help in George Hill. But what if we could go back and stop the Pacers from doing that trade, and we could see a partnership of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George 8 years early? How would the NBA change? As you are about to see, it will change quite a lot. The first season doesn't change a whole lot as the Pacers lose 5 more games without the immediate help of George Hill, and the Spurs, they win 5 more games with George Hill. The playoffs remain the same as the Pacers still get knocked out in the Heat, but this time in the first round instead of the second round. And the Spurs, they take the conference finals to 7 games, but still lose to the Thunder, and the Heat still win the championship. Here are the rest of the standings if you were curious. The Charlotte Bobcats did still have their worst season ever, but the Golden State Warriors went on to leapfrog the Minnesota Timberwolves because of the Spurs going on to win a few more games, and that will turn out to have major repercussions for the Warriors, but stay tuned for that. The draft stays mostly the same as Anthony Davis still goes to the Hornets at number 1, MKG still goes to the Bobcats at number 2, Bradley Beal still goes to the Wizards at number 3, Damian Lillard still goes to the Blazers at number 6, but the Warriors, since their movement in the table, they don't have the number 35 pick anymore, so...
The Toronto Raptors select Draymond Green from Michigan State University.
And yes, since the Warriors don't have the number 35th pick because of their upwards table movement, the Kings get the 35th pick. But since the Kings are the Kings, they don't take Draymond Green. And so the Raptors are next in line and they take him. But don't worry, Warriors fans, because later in the offseason, the Kings waive Hassan Whiteside and the Warriors pick him up because they don't have another big man without Draymond Green. And since the Pacers selected Evan Fournier with their higher pick in the draft, they don't have another big man. And so they select an old Elton Brand, who was waived by the Sixers the day earlier. Nothing else really changes in the offseason except Chris Middleton going to the Blazers, but that's all for the offseason as we head into season number 2. So we move on to the 2012-13 season, in which Kawhi has a great year and gets a few more defensive stops, and Pacers win 3 more games. The Spurs, with the help of George Hill, they win 2 more games as well. The Warriors, without the immediate help of Draymond Green, they lose 2 more games, and the Raptors, with the help of Draymond Green, they win 2 more games and clinch the 9th seed. The San Antonio Spurs did have a relatively easy time in the playoffs, beating Golden State in the first round, then Denver in the second round, and Memphis in the third round to move on to the NBA Finals. Leading the charge was, of course, Tony Parker and Tim Duncan. However, in the other series, it wasn't so easy. The Pacers and the Heat went on to the conference finals. It went on to a Game 7 in Miami, where the Pacers did take a 6-point lead early, but the Heat went on the second quarter to take an 8-point to get 8 more points than the Pacers. Then another 8 more points in the third, which the Indiana Pacers just could not recover from. A total of 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists from LeBron James, as well as 17 points from Dwayne Wade, 12 points from Chris Bosh, was enough to send the Miami Heat to face the San Antonio Spurs in the 2013 NBA Finals. So the finals ends up being Miami Heat versus the San Antonio Spurs. In Game 1, the Heat win by 3 with a great 27 points from Dwayne Wade. Tim Duncan's 29 points can't counter. In the second game, the Spurs take it, making it 1-1 going into Miami with 21 points from Dwayne Wade, but Danny Green and Tim Duncan both score 17 points. In Game 3, back in Miami, we had the Heat win 101-109 with 24 points from LeBron, 20 points from Manu. Can't get the Spurs a win. Game 4, more of the same, with the Heat winning by 19 this time, with the Spurs getting only 100 points, with Tim Duncan getting 23 of those 100 points, but LeBron, he got 25 points in this game. In Game 5, back in San Antonio, we had hope for the Spurs, with them winning 87-96, with Tim Duncan and Manu both scoring 19 points, Dwayne Wade scoring 22 points. However, the nail in the coffin was put when the Miami Heat won by 9 points against the San Antonio Spurs back in Miami with 32 points from LeBron and the Heat top scorer Matt Bonner. Here are the rest of the standings, and yes, these aren't exactly this isn't exactly the standings because the teams are moved around because of the extra games won or lost by the Pacers, Spurs, Warriors, or Raptors. So get ready for changes in the draft and stay tuned for that. And we have a couple of trades. Kyle Korver, Zaza Pachulia, and 2 picks went to the Bucks for Monte Ellis, Gustavo Ayon, 2015 first and 2015 second. DeMario Carroll and a 2013 first rounder via Denver went to the Pacers for Miles Plumlee, a 2013 first and second. Most of the draft stayed the same, but the 2 trades I just showed you resulted in major changes in the NBA draft. And
2013 NBA draft, the Boston Celtics select Giannis Antetokounmpo from. Your enthusiasm seems to be dwindling. With the 23rd pick in the 2013 NBA draft, the Indiana Pacers select Rudy Gobert from Saint-Coutin, France. He last played for Cholet in the French League.
And yes, the Celtics select Giannis and the Pacers take Rudy Gobert. The reason that the Hawks didn't take Giannis with their 15th pick is because they already have an abundance of forwards, and so they pass them up. And so the Celtics, who don't have an abundance of forwards, do take them. And the Pacers, they see something in Rudy Gobert, and they're going to try to develop him and take him with the 27th pick. And so here are the rest of the draft changes. Of course, the most notable one is CJ McCollum going to the Jazz instead of the Blazers. Others include Trey Burke going from the Jazz to the Timberwolves, KCP getting selected by the Trailblazers instead of the Pistons, and Tim Hardaway Jr. being selected by the Bucks instead of the Nets. And in the season, the Pacers won 6 more games because Kawhi and Paul George started to have breakout seasons, and Lance Stevenson, it just hasn't fallen off a cliff just yet. The Spurs, without the help of a breakout Kawhi Leonard this year, they lose 2 more games as George Hill didn't have as good a season as Kawhi Leonard. But they still do get the top record in the West. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, Indiana still did get beaten by the Miami Heat, and this time in 5 games. with LeBron being the top scorer 4 out of 5 times, and the Miami Heat went on to win the NBA Finals as well.